Hey everybody, welcome back. Guess what we're doing? We are reading the Sword of Allah. It is about Khalid bin Waleed. It has been awesome. Been a while since we've been back at it, but we're back in the saddle. So, we are in part 2, the campaign of the apostasy, and this is chapter 13, Tuleha the imposter. So, let's jump right into it. It's been super exciting to do a book review, an overall deep textual analysis of this book. It reads like a movie, full of action, definitely not boring to read, so let's jump into it. Then he took part in the Battle of the Ditch, responding eagerly to the invitation of the Jews to take up arms against the Muslims. He got together a contingent from Bani Asad. Okay, so Bani Asad. So I've been learning that Bani means tribe, so now whenever I hear it, I know it means tribe. And commanded it in the coalition that besieged Medina. When Abu Sufyan withdrew from Medina, the Bani Asad also returned to their settlements. Again, Tuleha got nowhere. Okay. The next occasion on which he opposed the Muslims was their campaign against the Jews of Khaybar in 628. Okay. There's another campaign here. The Jews of Khaybar, 628, which I guess the Islamic year is 7 Hijri. The Bani Asad, upper-undering Tuleha, sided with the Jews. During the movement of the Muslim army towards Khaybar, Tuleha fought a number of minor engagements with the Muslims, but was worsted every time. Then he pulled out his forces and abandoned the Jews to their fate. Oh, so he pulled out. So look at that. So Tuleha, he has a couple of skirmishes with the Muslims. He didn't really do well, then pulls out and abandons the Jews. 2 years later, during the year of delegations, the Bani Asad sent a delegation to Medina, which offered submission to the Prophet. Look at that. Bani tribe offers a submission. The whole tribe accepted Islam, but like many other tribes of Arabia, its conversion was a matter of political convenience rather than genuine belief. Outwardly, Tuleha also embraced Islam. Okay, so he embraces it. Whether infidel or Muslim, Tuleha continued to enjoy considerable influence in his tribe as a chief. Okay, so he's a chief. He's a converted to Islam, maintains as the tribal chief, and a soothsayer. Oh, really? Uh-oh. Can't do both. He would foretell the future, dabble in clairvoyance, and recite poetry. That's strange. Poetry part is cool, but why is he trying to foretell the future? You're a chief. During the illness of the Prophet, in fact, a few days before the Prophet died, Tuleha made a bid for independence. Oh, see that? He wants, So he sees an opportunity there. Hey, the Prophet is sick. Now we're going to break free, because he's probably thinking in his head strategically, if the headman is gone, they will scatter to the winds, and then we can reassert our independence. He declared himself a prophet. He called upon his people to follow him, and many did. When word arrived of the holy prophet's death, he intensified his efforts to establish himself as the new prophet. What a betrayal. Like, how do you go about meeting the real prophet, and then you decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a bid as a prophet. See, people probably fell for it too, because he's like, oh, I can foretell the future. I'm a soothsayer. I'm going to claim myself as a prophet. And as the contagion of the apostasy spread over Arabia, the entire tribe of Bani Asad flocked to his standard, accepting him as chief and prophet, to mark the severance of his ties with Medina. Tuleha expelled the Muslim tax collector of his area. Oh, look at that. So he's like, hey, get the tax collector who takes the sadaqah and that head tax, and we're going to expel him. That's not a good sign. A valiant young man by the name of Barar bin al-Azwar. Okay, so we got another name here. Barar bin al-Azwar, of whom the account of the campaign in Syria will have much to say. Having proclaimed himself prophet, Tuleha felt that he had to do something about the religion in order to prove that he really was an apostle of God. Well, he's probably going to make something up, right? He could think of no better way of creating a spectacular effect Then by altering the form of the prayer. Oh, geez, okay. He abolished prostration. You see, no, you shouldn't do that. Because the prostration part shows the humbleness, right? As we have learned, you need to show humility, humbleness, and not have a stiff neck in front of your creator. So, which is an integral part of the Muslim prayer ritual. Allah does not want us to invert our faces, he declared, or bend our backs in an ugly posture. You see that? So, if you think it's ugly to prostrate, you're focused too much on the vanity and your ego, when submission must be separate from ego. Because if you have an extensive ego, you won't want to submit. But submission is what Islam is all about, to your maker. Pray standing. If you won't get on your knees in front of your maker, then that means that you are not as humble as you pretend to be. And if you won't bend the knee, then you are not submitted, right? And the Bani Asad prayed without prostration after their impostor. With the spread of the apostasy, the ranks of his followers swelled. He received offers of support from the major tribes of North Central Arabia. Okay, so North Central Arabia tribes. Major ones, wow. The staunchest of which were the Gharafan, oh, I remember this name. Followed by the Tay, with both of which the Bani Asad had an old abiding alliance. Okay, so there we have the Gharafan tribe, and we have the Tay tribe, which is actually spelled Tayy. And then obviously the Bani Asad. So we got 3 tribes right here of North Central Arabia who wanted to follow Tulayha. It's ridiculous. There was support also from the Hawazin. Okay, we got another tribe here. And the great Bani Sulaim. The Bani Sulaim, I've heard their names a lot. But this was lukewarm. Although these 2 great tribes also apostatized and fought the Muslims, they did not join Tulayha and did not fight under his standard. Well, there you go. That's good. The most powerful single supporter of Tulayha was Uyay bin Hisin. Okay, so that's an interesting name here. It's actually spelled Uyeinabinhisn. Okay, so the one-eyed chief of Bani Faraza. Whoa, another tribe here. Hawazin, Bani Sulaim, Bani Fazra, Gharafan, Tay, and the Bani Asad. Powerful clan of the Gharafan. This was the man who commanded the Gharafan contingent at the Battle of the Ditch. Okay, look at that. So, Uyay bin Hisin, let's actually highlight his name then. He fought at the Battle of the Ditch, and whom the Holy Prophet had nicknamed the Willing Fool. Willing Fool. Let's put that some quotation marks around that so that we can point out his nickname. Now he lived up to that name by following Tulayha. Truly, right? He did not, however, believe wholeheartedly in the impostor. For he is known to have said, I would rather follow a prophet from an allied tribe than one from the Quraysh. Anyway, Muhammad is dead and Tulayha is alive. Well, that's kind of dark. Jeez, talk about not really keeping your alliance. His support proved invaluable, for he brought the entire tribe of Gharafan under the sway of Tulayha. Wow, okay, so under the sway of Tulayha. Tulayha gathered the Bani Asad at Samira. The Gharafan lived in the neighborhood of the Bani Asad and would join him soon. The Tay also accepted him as chief of chiefs and prophet, but remained in their own region north and northeast of Khaybar, except for a small contingent which joined him at Samira. Here, Tulayha began his preparations to fight the power of Islam. Okay, look at that. He's got the Bani Asad, and then he's got this other guy, the fool, the willing fool, Uyay Hisin, who was of the Gharafan. Wow, we're really learning just about how the tribes at this time really fluctuated in their alliances, didn't they? When he heard of the gathering of the clans at Abrak and Zukisa, he sent a contingent from his tribe to reinforce them under his brother Hibal. Okay, look at that. So, we have Hibal here. So, Tulayha has a brother named Hibal. The Muslim operations against Zukisa and Abrak have already been described. While these operations were in progress, Tuleha moved with his army to Buzaka. Okay, cool. Notice this. We got a lot of cool names here. This author is really good at naming the geographical locations for us, which is very helpful. Where he was joined sometime later by the remnants of the apostates driven from Abrak. At Buzaka, Tuleha's preparations progressed rapidly. He sent couriers to many clans, inviting them to join him, and many clans responded to the call. Oh geez, so let's talk about a betrayal. That must be difficult. Just having all these different people calling them to another faith and following a dude who was a soothsayer. Uyayha brought 700 warriors from the Bani Fazra. 700. 700, man. The largest groups were from the Bani Asad and the Gharafan. There also was a contingent from the Tay, but the main part of the Tay did not come to Buzaka. Tuleha was ready for battle when Khalid sent out from Zukisa. Look at that. So Khalid, he's like, hey, let's leave Zukisa. Tuleha is ready and wants to go to battle. So remember, we have Hibal, brother of Tulay, and he thinks he's a prophet, and he abolished prostrations, and he didn't want people to bend back and wanted them to stand. Wow, so these major tribes of North Central Arabia are going through an apostasy period, so no wonder why it's called the campaign of the apostasy, because clearly they're going to follow a guy who's willingly called a fool, and even though they participated in the Battle of the Ditch, they haven't learned their lesson quite fully, have they? Man, that's intense.